Welcome to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
Do you guys know anything about the vaccine? Do you have any concerns there? What do you think?
So, So my dad got the Moderna vaccine. He got it even though he had COVID back in late summer. Got the vaccine, and he was just one of those anomaly cases where he got really sick after the first shot, came back to the doctor and said, well, don't worry. If you got sick on your first shot, you're going to be fine at the second. Got really sick on the second. Now, it wasn't with COVID, he was down for 6 days, not getting out of his room. With these shots, he was down for 1 or 2. I have reason to believe that I had it back in February as well. The symptoms that my dad had versus what I had in February, super similar. I mean, almost dead nuts. The duration, the weird ice bones, things that we've never experienced. So for me, that's what's sort of swaying my decision. Is like, I feel good. I don't know if I want to go and risk it and get sick for a couple of days, but I'm not against the vaccination. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a huge vaccination supporter. But I'm just sort of, I'm waiting around on it. It's my stance.
So there's a couple of ways to look at it, but it's a great testament to our scientific advances that we can even do this in this shorter period of time. Especially, it wasn't like we just did everything faster. This is a new way of replicating
that's
the
a key
virus.
point. Yeah.
And it's a testament to how technology plays such an important role in solving human problems. And I think that sometimes we try to solve our problems by going backwards, like not consuming or whatever. That's going to solve the problem. I don't know how many problems have been really solved that way. So I think that's a testament to that. Now, there are risks always with new things, so it's a matter of what the protocols are. I like the fact that we have a choice. The Johnson & Johnson is more traditional of a vaccine, so you have another vaccine that you can go to. But let's face it, whatever small amount of risk can come with the vaccine, the vaccine is not contagious. So even if it has a harmful effect on the person that got it, just only that person will be affected. And we know that the incidence is less than 1%, and the symptoms tend to go away. So I'm sure some people thought, well, you could die from the vaccine. Well, yeah, but you could also die from COVID, and it's transmitted to other people, and so it multiplies.
Sure. I'm with you on that. Keep in mind too, I'm coming from the camp of had it, have beat it.
Yeah.
Then it's the question of the vaccination. Had I not had this thing, my tone's changed. It's like, okay, I'm going to get it because it's. I firmly believe that the risk associated with the vaccination is much lower than actually contracted COVID raw.
I wouldn't mind having it right now, but I'm not going to get in line in front of somebody that qualifies legitimately and has risk factors. So I'm waiting for my turn to come up, and hopefully I have a choice. I like the idea of having a choice and choosing which one to go
I agree with that. I am not anti-vaxxer either. I'm probably more cautious than most people. I think the questions that I have with this vaccine is there's 3 things. One is it was developed extremely quickly. This thing it came out in a year
with new technology.
That's number 2. So came out in a year. Usually these vaccines take 10 years. So this came out in 1/10 of the time normally. Number 2 is new technology. So using the mRNA thing, you know about this? It's with vaccines. Apparently, you would usually take like a piece of the vaccine or a piece of the virus or whatever, and that's your vaccine. But this is something new altogether. It's interesting how we chose
the problem
this.
is replicated. We know how to create a flu vaccine. The problem is replicating the virus in mass. And so PCR, I believe, is what it's called. It's and the guy that invented it actually was not for using it for this purpose. So, but I'm not a scientist, so I don't want to go down that road. But he was not for using it for this purpose because his argument was that you don't know what else you're replicating when you do that.
But you're also introducing a delivery system into your autoimmune system, into your body. So one, it's new technology. We've never used mRNA technology in a human vaccine prior to this. And it could be that technology was just so ready at just the right time. But it is interesting why we're using something that's developed so quickly in such a broad deployment with a new technology. It's a little concerning. I suspect it's probably fine. It's probably like a testament to our technology. That's probably what's going on here. But let's not we have advanced, but let's not pass over the fact that it's new technology. It developed in 1/10 of the time, and it's rapid deployment. Okay, this extremely rapid deployment, and maybe this is very good. Everything's totally fine. This is what should happen and is happening, and it's probably the case. But let's not pass over those three things.
So you're right on all these points, but the reason obviously it was adopted fast because the consequence was that But we did do large trials. 30,000 people, whatever, and the reason they came up with the 6 months is because in the past, when they have had an issue with a vaccine, it usually came up with usually you saw the symptoms within the first 6 months. So that's why they set that date to follow those people. And now, since we've been rolling out the vaccine,
but that's with a different technology entirely. Of course, you're going to see the results in 6 months if you're injecting with a piece of the vaccine. But this is mRNA. Do we know how this is going to affect us 10 years from now? We have no idea.
Well, I'm not a scientist, so I'd like to understand things I'm putting in my body. I'm very picky about what I'm putting in my body, so I will admit that with things like this, it is somewhat concerning because I don't understand it. But let's face it, some of the vitamins I put in, I don't understand how they extracted them. So there's a limitation there. But we do have a choice. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a more traditional vaccine. It's less effective, which is probably more than enough. It's less effective. It's not 95%, but it's over 70% effective. My understanding is, and the flu shot I take every year is about that. So I'm comfortable with that. And the bottom line is I think the questions we should be asking is like. Are we going to shut down society every time this happens? What's the future protocol going to be? Why not protect the vulnerable instead of shutting down society? So these are choices that we made.
One of the concerns that I have about the vaccine, and not opposed to people taking it. People seem to be very happy about taking it. They're posting on social media.
I know a lot of people
have taken it. I know a lot of people have taken it too. I mean, do your thing. If you're I'm not sure that those people taking it, they're super happy, posting on social, know the science behind it, and maybe that's okay. They just have a high level of trust in areas that I don't necessarily have that blatant trust.
But you drive a Tesla and you don't know how that thing works.
That's very, very different than putting a vaccine in your body. And also,
he trusts
vitamins.
Elon Musk much more than our government.
I 100% do. And also, vitamins it's very different. So I just think that. The one thing I'm hearing on the vaccine front, this is where I was going, is that all we're allowed to talk about is how positive it is, how happy it is, how everyone's taking it, everyone should get it. Literally don't want them to talk about any of the negatives or anything because of the greater good, right? I mean, you probably all have heard this or read, but we don't want to talk about any of the potential negatives because the benefits to having everyone take the vaccine outweigh some of the potential negative consequences that go along with it. I'm okay with that being the case as long as we're honest with that.
Sure.
But I'm not hearing a lot of honesty on that front. It's all about the vaccine's here to save us. Let's go. And let me just say one thing real quick. First of all, the cases of anaphylactic shock in vaccines are usually 1 in a million. With these vaccines so far, it's been 6 in 272,000. That was of like January. So anaphylactic reactions to this vaccine are way, way, way higher than other vaccines.
But normally they're temporary and they go away.
It could be, and that's everything could be fine. But the other thing that this is the strategy that I'm taking a little bit is, well, the more time that you give this thing, the more use cases there are, the more case samples there are, and then this thing is going to be safer taking a year from now than right now, right? Because we're going to have more data and all of this. So,
or less safe.
Does that make me selfish?
Says, right?
Yeah, or less safe. I don't know. But the CEO of Pfizer didn't visit Israel in December because he hadn't gotten his vaccine. This is the CEO of the company. And why is that? It's because he said he wanted to wait his turn. Really? One shot? And you are the man in charge of this company?
Now, we're criticizing people for jumping their turn, and you can't.
No, come on. He's the CEO of Pfizer. Turn. Like he needs a vaccine. He should be able to go visit Israel and travel and do his business. He's saving the world right now, but he's not taken the vaccine yet. To be fair, he had taken, my understanding was he'd taken the first dose, but not the second. He hadn't taken it yet because he wanted to wait his turn. That sounds fishy to me. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, there is a Liang, I think Professor Liang in Israel. She is a professor at the Hebrew Institute of Virology or something like that. She knows this stuff. She studies biology. And she is saying, yes, take the vaccine. The benefits outweigh the risks. She's an advocate for it. Take the vaccine. When asked if she took the vaccine, she said, no, she's going to wait a year. There's a double standard going on that we're not hearing about.